Welcome to Hannity Tonight. It is clear you, the American people, elected a winner. 3 years, the Russia collusion hoax, 9 months of Comey's corrupt illegal fishing expedition, and 2 years of Mueller's hyper-partisan witch hunt, months of the Schumer-Schiffsham show, and now actual real acquittal, exoneration, vindication. The president remains totally unfazed. In fact, he's winning like never before. His agenda is a massive success, as we saw on Tuesday night. Look at this. A brand new Gallup poll finding 90% of Americans are satisfied with their personal life. I hope to one day make it 100. Economic confidence is at the highest point since the year 2000. President Trump racking up accomplishments at a record-setting pace. His approval numbers, by the way, look at this, better than ever before. This despite the fact, and watch the success, the exact opposite of the Biden-Obama years, facing more undue rage and resistance, frankly, than any president in history. Watch this.
We've been going through this now for over 3 years. It was evil, it was corrupt, it was dirty cops, it was leakers and liars. And this should never, ever happen to another president, ever. We went through hell unfairly, did nothing wrong, did nothing wrong. I've done things wrong in my life, I will admit. Not purposely, but I've done things wrong. But this is what the end result is. Every time I'd say, this is unfair, let's go to court, they say, sir, you can't go to court, this is politics. And we were treated unbelievably unfairly. And you have to understand, we first went through Russia. It was all
right, as you can see, one of the president's greatest strengths, his ability to be serious and yet, in spite of all of this, actually extremely funny. Given the nonstop hysteria of the left, you need to have a sense of humor to stay sane these days. Today, we saw a perfect example of this during his remarks about Minority Whip Steve Scalise. Remember, he was shot nearly fatally by that far-left maniac in 2017. Watch this.
A man who's braver than me and braver than all of us in this room, he got whacked. He got whacked. My Steve, right? I went to the hospital with our great First Lady that night, right, honey? And we saw a man that was not going to make it. He was not going to make it. He was the doctor. And I told him, his wife, I said, she loves you. Why do you say that? Because she was devastated. A lot of wives wouldn't give a damn. It really looked like he had a 25% chance. I think you set a record for blood loss. And Steve Scalise, I actually, honestly, I think you're better looking now. You're more handsome now. You weren't that good looking. You look good now. You are a warrior. Steve, he is fantastic.
And the president thanks so many other people that went to war for him throughout all of these witch hunts, all of these lies and conspiracy theories, through every hoax, through every slander, smear, besmirchment. Scalise will join us in just a moment. Without a doubt, he's been a key figure in the fight against Pelosi's radical, revenge-focused agenda in the House. Tonight, that agenda again utterly failing. What have they done for we, the American people? Look at this. The editorial board, Wall Street Journal, calling Pelosi's impeachment sham a, quote, sorry period in congressional history. Constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley, he didn't vote for Donald Trump, calling on her to resign. He's right. On Tuesday, a very angry Nancy Pelosi staging this nationally televised nonstop temper tantrum in what is a petty, small, petulant display of this rage, this psychosis, emotion. Remember Nancy Pelosi ripping up the president's speech, calling it all a pack of lies? In reality, by the way, Pelosi apparently was planning this stunt all along. In fact, look at your screen. Pelosi actually was like pre-ripping each of the pages, so that she actually took the time to prep the rip. And she planned the whole thing, obviously. And as you can see here, she even tested the ripped ability of the document during the speech. Look at this right there. Oh, I guess we know why petty Pelosi was so distracted. And it was weird and distracting and mumbling. And I'm like, okay, I gotta not focus on that part of the show, because I wanted to hear the address. She was doing it the whole address, preparing for the big show she was planning after the president's address. Now, remember, this is the very same Pelosi claiming that she doesn't hate the president. No, she's so prayerful about it all and so somber. This morning, the president, he had this to say about Pelosi's prayers, and he's dead on accurate. Listen.
Courageous Republican politicians and leaders had the wisdom, fortitude, and strength to do what everyone knows was right. I don't like people who use their faith as justification for doing what they know is wrong. Nor do I like people who say, I pray for you, when they know that that's not so.
Petty Pelosi, prep the rip. Wow. Those remarks at the National Prayer Breakfast weren't just targeting Pelosi, also Senator Mitt Romney. This week, Romney saying that his deep faith led him to vote to convict the president. And by the way, he exonerated quid and pro and quo Joe and zero experience Hunter in the same point at the same time. Okay, Mitt, whatever you say. Liberal Morning Joe praising Romney's higher calling. Fake news Jim Acosta. That's right, calling it a profile in courage. WAPO resident far-left hack Jennifer Rubin writing, Romney is a man of uncommon decency and honor. The media mob fawning all over Romney all day. Now, I recall it really wasn't that long ago that same media mob was falsely accusing Romney, let's see, being a racist, a sexist, a misogynist, a tax cheat, and a felon. Wow, Romney, Pierre de facto, your new friends. Just a reminder.
Once again, Mitt stepped in it, calling Russia our #1 geopolitical enemy. What's this, the evil empire again?
We also have our binders every morning.
It's going to be the joke that keeps on giving.
Can he relate to working women? You know, it made it sound almost like working women are some mail order product.
One huge explosive word out there, just incendiary. Victims.
It was a condescending, unbelievably insensitive way of insulting people by calling them all victims.
These are the people Romney now trusts, his new friends, and not the people who steadfastly defended him from these false attacks for so many years. Romney, of all people, well, you've diminished yourself, Mitt. It's sad, it's tragic, and you should have known that the truth means nothing to the media mob and their partners in the Democratic Party that now love you. Their smears, their lies, their conspiracy theories, they're never ending. And by the way, now you are part of it. Really? You don't think quid and pro and quo Joe, you're not getting the billion until you fire the prosecutor who's investigating my zero experience son being paid millions? You just exonerated them. Wow, good for you, Mitt. You're really consistent. You think this charade is over now that the president's been acquitted? Hate to tell you, think again. Watch this.
The president has been acquitted by the United States Senate. Double jeopardy does not apply in politics. Nancy Pelosi in her House, Jerry Nadler saying today, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, they're going to subpoena John Bolton. That's risky for the Democrats. It is risky because it's T-ball for Trump politically to say this is gratuitous, this is all political. But it's also risky for all these senators who just voted on the president's side as this new information comes out. So we should pause and reflect on the history of today. In the context of impeachment, this is over, but it's not over.
No double jeopardy. We can do it again. Just keep doing it. It never ends. Witch hunt will continue. The House will probably try to impeach the president over and over and over again. As we speak, they're actually planning. Let's bring in John Bolton. Okay. Now, hang on a second. Even if they bring in John, let's say the president said to John Bolton, you know what? I'm not giving them the money unless they do this, this, and this. The four facts never change, do they, Ambassador? They never changed. They never did anything. They never felt pressure to do anything. And even more importantly, when you look at the tape of Joe Biden and the interview of Hunter Biden with no experience, the amount of money, I'd say it's a prima facie case of corruption. The president also has a sworn duty, as we have said from the beginning, to faithfully execute the laws. And that Ukrainian election interference stuff, separate and apart from the Russia interference, yeah, that would be, if you recall, January 11, 2017, the Politico investigation. And a Ukrainian court said Ukraine interfered in the 2016 election to help Hillary, and they were successful, Politico told us. Wow. That would be faithfully executing the laws. You got a corrupt, congenital, compromised liar by the name of Adam Schiff already plotting his next top-secret style hearings. Now, for you, we, the American people. 271 days. Guess what? You are the ultimate jury. You will have an opportunity to shock the world again. And by the way, and re-elect this president who has accomplished all the things we put on the screen. Now, if you want all of this to end, I have an answer. When you vote for Donald Trump, you have all the power. I only have one little vote in New York. You can also give the House back to the Republican Party, a Republican majority for the president. And you can vote for Republican senators in your state while you're voting for President Trump. The witch hunt will then stop. And then the country will move forward. And imagine this president actually being able to work without never-ending witch hunts, lies, conspiracy, hoaxes, misinformation, disinformation every day. Wow, it's amazing what we can accomplish without that hovering over his head every second of every minute of every hour of every day. And as the president said during his State of the Union address, the best is yet to come. How great is it? 13 million more Americans, food stamps, 8 million more poverty under Obama, lowest labor participation rate in the 70s, 8 million fewer Americans on food stamps, nearly 8 million new jobs, millions out of poverty, the best employment situation for every demographic in the country in 50 years. Wow, we could do more. Good news for the president's reelection bid. That is, the Democratic Party is a train wreck in every aspect. The same people that want to take over your health care and give you no choice in health care and control every major industry in the U.S., they couldn't even count a few thousand votes in the state of Iowa. Now, the official tally delayed for several days. Finally, they got to 100%. They just did moments ago. So riddled with errors and inaccuracies, the DNC chair is calling for an immediate recanvass. Oh, okay. Let's continue that Iowa caucus shift show, if you will. But don't worry, Democrats know who to blame for the dumpster fire in Iowa. Without any evidence, yep, they are blaming, including Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Russia and Trump. Others are blaming President Trump. If the dog bites, the bee stings, you're feeling sad, it's got to be Donald Trump's fault, right? By the way, you drink too much Jack Daniels or beer, you don't feel good the next morning, it's not their fault or your fault, it's Trump's fault. Report claiming that some supporters might have actually called into an Iowa Democratic hotline and clogged up the calls. This is a conspiracy. The Russians told Trump to do it. And by the way, Trump might actually give Alaska to Russia so that Russia helps him in the 2020 election. Schiff said that. And of course, Democrats, this debacle will pale in comparison to the looming inter-party civil war. Uh-oh, they're looking to rob Bernie again. The Democratic establishment, once again, trying to rig the primary against him. We need Donna Brazile to come back and tell that story, that phone call she had to make saying, yeah, it all happened, Bernie. Ultimately, none of it will matter. Ultimately, you are the ultimate jury. You know, I know we're smelly Walmart shoppers, guilty. Yep, I cling to God. I believe in God, a creator. I really do. Our Constitution, Second Amendment rights. I believe in the Bible. I believe in religion. I'm an irredeemable deplorable. And Walmart, I save money at. I like Walmart.